What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 425 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's your boy KB coming at you with a Sunday night Solo Dolo. Got a lot to dive into with our Philly sports teams. A great NFL draft weekend. The Phillies continue to be inconsistent. Joel Embiid's face is broken, and an underground athlete gets the keys to our hometown. Got a lot to dive into, but before we get started, some housekeeping for the peeps. Make sure you're following us on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, at UndergroundPHI, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI. Follow me on Twitter, at KBIZZL311. Check out our website, UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Subscribe to the podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. And leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple and Spotify. It really helps more people find the show, get connected with us, and continue to build that underground community that we're trying to manifest and bring to life. Leave all your hot Philly sports takes in the Apple Podcast reviews. We'll read them on the show. If you leave them, we'll read them. So go check out our Apple Podcast reviews. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And, of course, subscribe. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Full video episodes now available for every single Underground Sports Philadelphia show on our YouTube. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia. On YouTube, you'll be able to find it. And let's get the YouTube comment section cooking. Comment, hit the like button, click the bell icon so you don't miss a single video upload. All that good stuff. And, of course, like I said, subscribe. Big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Ducharme's Pro Foot, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, Mark Ronchetti CPA LLC, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. And, of course, the boys over at Tomahawk Shades. Guys, it's May. Summer's right around the corner. We're 24 days out from Memorial Day. You got to protect those eyes when you're outside, going to the beach, going all over the place this summer. Go to TomahawkShades.com. Get your sunnies, get your blue light glasses, and everything in between, and use our code USP for 25% off your entire order at TomahawkShades.com. That's TomahawkShades.com, promo code USP for 25% off your entire order from the homies over at Tomahawk Shades. Pickup, the best place to play the props. You guys can go to playpickup.com, start playing the hottest headlines in sports, including the NL East run differential game with myself and Matt every single month. The month of April now closed. And if you pick the Mets, great for you. And, of course, you can play season-long and every single month with our pals over at Pickup. You earn points on your fan profile, cash them in for prizes on the Pickup Marketplace. Go to playpickup.com and start playing those headlines. Kenwood Beer, Philadelphia's #1 beer. There's nobody like a Kenny. Go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, guys, please drink responsibly. And, of course, the boys over at Biñho. The boards came in today, ladies and gents. I'm going to get into some deets about that later on in the show. But you guys can go to biñhoboard.com. That's BINHOBOARD.com. And use our code BIñhoUSP, BINHOUSP, for 10% off your order at biñhoboard.com. Now let's get into the good stuff, why you guys came here. Because if you missed our draft stream, you missed an all-time reaction. Just pure euphoria from your boy. The Eagles trade for A.J. Brown.
I really need the Giants to shock the world and they trade trade up.
Kyle. Now
that my eardrums are blown out.
Kyle, you guys, the Eagles. Titans are planning to trade A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
No way.
Fuck.
Okay, my mood has changed.
No way.
Sick.
No way.
AJ Brown. I'm very high on AJ Brown.
I am too. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's why.
My mood has changed. My mood has changed.
Why do you think
this is everything I've wanted?
No way.
Hold the phone. Because I'm pretty sure I quote tweeted a certain account that no free ads.
I'm going.
saying that the Eagles trade for A.J. Brown.
That's That's worth pretty much whatever draft capital the Eagles have left, unless they traded literally every pick. AJ Brown is. That is fantastic. I mean, he's better than Jameson Williams will be.
I
Or
mean,
is right now, at least. Will be this year. I'll say that.
his word clearly isn't as valuable now, but it's been confirmed by Schefter and now Rapport. AJ Brown in exchange for the Eagles' 18th overall pick and a 3rd round pick.
That's a
That's worth it.
steal.
That's great. That's great for the Eagles.
That is a beyond steal.
Kyle has just gone from rock bottom to cloud 9. Or at least I would be.
I literally quote tweeted this, McAvoy, on April 19th of a certain no free ads on this live stream sponsor of ours. The Philadelphia, it says they tweeted, "You now have hacked Adam Schefter's Twitter account. You have one tweet that would send the fantasy football community into complete chaos." What's the tweet? I tweeted, "The Philadelphia Eagles are sending multiple draft picks to the Tennessee Titans for wide receiver AJ Brown, according to sources."
Kyle, does that make you feel better about the Jordan Davis pick now?
Absolutely. I just said my entire mood has changed.
I love the Jordan Davis pick even more now.
And please credit Underground Sports Philadelphia. We actually reported that AJ Brown was going to be traded to the Eagles for multiple draft picks per sources on April 19th. We broke that news. Just be a friend, tell a friend, let everybody know. We broke that news. We let everybody know AJ Brown was coming to Philadelphia. Now, just for some context for the people, AJ Brown is one of my favorite players in football. He is one of the best young star wide receivers in the NFL. And the fact that the Eagles were able to get him for pick 18 in this year's draft, a 3rd round pick, and that was it, and then give him a $100 million extension for 4 years, absolute steal by Howie Roseman and company to go and get AJ Brown. Just an absolute steal. For reference, his career statistics: 185 receptions, 2,995 yards, 70 rushing yards, and 26 total touchdowns. AJ Brown has been a force since he has come into the NFL. In 2019, he played in 11 games. Had 52 catches, 1,051 yards. And then in 2020, 14 games, 1,075 yards, 11 touchdowns. And then this year, 13 games, kind of a down year in terms of receptions and receiving yards, 63 receptions, 869 yards, 5 total touchdowns. He's just a beast, man. Like, he's just so good. Like, and the fact that him and Jalen Hurts are like best friends. Jalen Hurts was like behind this whole move. It really speaks volumes to how the Eagles approach this draft and trying to get as much help around Jalen Hurts as possible, trying to improve this defense as much as possible. And I could not be more thrilled with this Eagles draft. I'm going to pull up the entire draft class here. And let me just tell you guys. To go and get, this is the Eagles' entire draft class: Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean, Kyron Johnson, and Grant Calcaterra. What a great name. Along with A.J. Brown. So this is how the Eagles went about getting their picks, in case you live under a rock. The Eagles traded pick 15, pick 124, pick 162, and pick 166 to the Texans for pick number 13, and that's how they got Jordan Davis. Now, when that happened, I was very confused. I felt like we gave up way too much to move up 2 spots for a guy that was potentially still going to be there on the board at 15. And, you know, it just was weird that they would move up just such a minimal amount to go and get a guy who is kind of just a specialty type of player. Like, he's very good at run block, stuffing the run. You know, he's a fantastic run stuffer. He's huge. He's over 300 pounds. Ran a 4.8 in the 40 at the combine. He's a freak athlete. His mom's an Eagles fan, so welcome home, Mama Davis. But it was just confusing to me to give up that much to move up such a small increment. And I felt this team had so many needs going into this draft that giving up that much draft capital didn't make sense to me. But then you go and trade pick 18 and pick 101 to the Titans for A.J. Brown, like I said, who is going to change the entire way we look at this Eagles offense. It flipped my mood immediately because then you didn't have to worry about getting the wide receiver. You didn't have to worry about a rookie wide receiver coming in. You have a guy who has 3 years of NFL experience under his belt and is 24 years old coming into this offense with a guy he knows, a guy he's been working out with all offseason, along with Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown is basically a first-round pick for this team. So you can't be mad at that at all. And then they go and draft Cam Jurgens, who Jason Kelce pretty much handpicked Cam Jurgens to be his eventual replacement when he ends up hanging it up. People were losing their minds going back up center at pick 51. Let me tell you, if there's anybody that I want picking their replacement or alleged replacement in the NFL, it's Jason Kelce picking his successor. He helped the Eagles scout Cam Jurgens. I couldn't ask for anything more. You know, for Jason Kelce to be like, yeah, that's the guy I want on this team. Say no more. That's the guy that we should have on this team doing the gosh damn thing and being Jason Kelce's replacement. Like, there's no reason to debate it. There's no reason to question the pick. I know a lot of people wanted Nakobe Dean in the second round. It came out during that round, like where the Eagles were picking that pick, that area, that Nakobe Dean was falling because of a meniscus issue and a pectoral injury that allegedly he refused to get surgery on, so people were concerned with the medicals. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because I myself wanted Nakobe Dean on this team. He was the best linebacker in college football last year, national champion, played behind Jordan Davis, so you go and get him. It's like, okay, let's go get his boy. Let's go get a linebacker on this team that could be here for the next 10 years. And add to this team that's already added Hassan Reddick, that's already added Kaiser White, that's added linebackers for the first time in I don't even know how long, that are actually quality linebackers. And I understood people's frustrations, but when I saw the injury issues, I was like, okay, I understand why he's falling. I understand why we're not taking him. But then 32 picks later, people could shut their mouths because Nakobe Dean is a Philadelphia Eagle. That's right. Pick 83, the Eagles pull the trigger and go get the best goddamn linebacker in the draft. Nakobe Dean is a Philadelphia Eagle. I couldn't be happier. Like, those 3 picks alone, along with A.J. Brown, made this draft the best draft in Howie Roseman's career, in my opinion. Then they go and get Kyron Johnson, a linebacker, as well, in the 6th round, because they traded back with the Jaguars. They traded pick 154 to the Jags for picks 188 and 198, and then they traded picks 188 and 237 to the Lions to go get Kyron Johnson. And then they took Grant Calcaterra, obviously, with pick number 198, and that's your Eagles draft. So Jordan Davis, A.J. Brown via trade, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean, Kyron Johnson, Grant Calcaterra. That is your 2022 Philadelphia Eagles NFL draft weekend. And let me say, I could not be happier with this draft. This draft, to me, is the best draft Howie Roseman's been in charge of ever. Obviously, 2012, Andy Reid was still in charge of that. That was the Fletcher Cox draft. Vinnie Curry was in there. Michael Kendricks was in there. I'm totally blanking on who else was in the 2012 Eagles draft. Let me see here if I can pull it up real quick. 2012 Eagles. Yeah, so 2012 was Fletcher Cox, Michael Kendricks, Vinnie Curry, Nick Foles, Brandon Boykin, Dennis Kelly, Marvin McNutt, Brandon Washington, Bryce Brown. You go through here. Fletcher Cox, obviously, franchise legend. Michael Kendricks, Super Bowl champion. Vinnie Curry, Super Bowl champion. Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP. Brandon Boykin in his time here was a fantastic contributor to the Philadelphia Eagles. Dennis Kelly has gone on to have a fantastic NFL career. Marvin McNutt was a decent, role wide receiver for this team for a year. Brandon Washington didn't really turn out. And then Bryce Brown, when he was here, finished with 1,000 yards in 3 years as a backup running back. That's a quality one. That's one of the best, if not the best, draft up until this year in Eagles history. Then you look at 2018. 2018 was obviously the year after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So they were coming off that Super Bowl win, and the Eagles go and draft Dallas Goedert. They draft Devontae Maddox. They draft Josh Sweat. They draft Matt Pryor, and they draft Jordan Mailata. That's a phenomenal draft as well. Dallas Goedert, obviously, franchise tight end right now. Devontae Maddox got paid. Josh Sweat got paid. Jordan Mailata got paid. All leading into this offseason. And then Matt Pryor, I believe, is still with the Colts. Yeah. And spent his first 2 seasons here with the Eagles, and then has been a starter for the Colts since last year. And he's doing the damn thing. He started 5 games for them, played in all 17 games. So shout out Matt Pryor. That, again, one of, if not the best draft in Eagles history leading into this year. But now you look at this draft on paper, and you look at the players that the Eagles were able to acquire with getting Jordan Davis, getting A.J. Brown via trade, getting Nakobe Dean, getting Cam Jurgens, and then getting depth pieces behind that in Calcaterra and getting Kyron Johnson. This is my favorite draft in Eagles history. Like, 2018 is going to be fantastic, no doubt about it. But on paper right now, like, this is... And 2018, you also have to think Joe Douglas was still here. So it wasn't fully Howie. This was Howie Roseman, this was Andy Weidel, and they did a sensational job during this draft. They nailed so many spots. I think the only spot you can say that they didn't really address in terms of the draft, but undrafted free agency, they went and did the damn thing, was the corner position. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out. And who knows? Tyrann Mathieu still on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the Honey Badger could still get signed in free agency by this team, and it's one of those things that would really elevate just the overall outlook of this Eagles defense. I was over the moon with this Eagles draft this year. It really impressed me. I'm thrilled. It got me really juiced again. Like I was saying for the past couple episodes, I haven't really been juiced about the NFL draft. I haven't been juiced about football. Didn't really know why. This got me juiced about the Eagles and ready to be pumped for another Philadelphia Eagles season going into the 2022 NFL year. Do I think they're Super Bowl contenders? No. There's still some holes on this roster. There's still some question marks. Do I think they have a chance to win the division? Fuck yes. Like, I totally think the division is completely on the table for the Eagles. I think it's them and the Cowboys again. I think on paper the Eagles are a little better than the Cowboys right now. I'm super pumped about how this week turned out. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown as your top 2 wide receivers is lethal. You have a wide receiver duo for the first time since Deshaun and Jeremy Maclin. And this is arguably better. This is arguably a better wide receiver duo, and I mean that with the sincerest respect. Just because these 2 guys do things at a complete full wide receiver ilk, more so than Deshaun just kind of being a burner, Jeremy Maclin being a 50-50 possession guy. These 2 are just extraordinary athletes, and them on the field at the same time, along with Quez Watkins in the slot, along with Dallas Goedert on the field, along with Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, and Jalen Hurts taking another step forward. Look out, NFL. The Eagles are going to put the league on notice, and it's super, super exciting to just think about the possibilities that this team has with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has changed the outlook on the Philadelphia Eagles tenfold. It's crazy to think about that a 24-year-old could do that, but he's that talented of a wide receiver that I could not be more excited to have on this team. And he's very good for my brand, number 11. Let's do the damn thing. Welcome to Philadelphia, A.J. Brown. 1K always open. And here's the open invite. If A.J. Brown, if you want to come on the podcast anytime, open mic for you. I would love to have A.J. Brown on this podcast. 125 zillion %. And that goes for all the prospects as well. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Cam Jurgens, Kyron Johnson, Grant Calcaterra, all of them. Willing to have you guys on the show. Welcome to Philadelphia. Can't wait to see you guys suit up. Let's go get dubs. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go, Birds. Let's ride. We had a great weekend, though, this week. Not only did the Eagles have a fantastic draft, my boy, the guy, the homie for life, underground athlete, OG, the very first, Jamil Demby got the key to the City of Vineland, our hometown. Got to hang out with Jamil all weekend. Filmed a ton of content with him. It was awesome to just see somebody you know and have befriended and has kind of come into your own personal circle over the past few years. Having gone to high school with him, he graduated with Sarah, my sister. He's one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet. He's one of the most humble human beings you will ever meet. And he's just so hardworking, so diligent, so responsible, respectful, and is so willing to give back to our community. And that's why he and I clicked instantly. It was like, we want to give back to where we're from. We want to be able to see the people around us shine. And that's why he and I work so well together, why we're such good friends. And, you know, we have a nice, awesome vlog coming to the YouTube channel very soon. I believe it's going to be titled Just a Kid from Vineland, probably volume 1, because I'm sure we are going to have a ton more content with Jamil in the future. But just super proud of my guy to come home, Super Bowl champion, get the key to the city. Not many people get that. You know, not a lot of people in any city get that honor. So it was very cool to be in attendance and watch my guy get recognized for everything he does on and off the field. He's a one of a kind, and I'm super thankful and super fortunate to have somebody like him rocking with our brand, being part of my life, being a homie for life. So shout out to the boy, Jamil Demby, getting that key to the city. And we got another one from Vineland, Isiah Pacheco, baby. Gets drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. He gets to go learn from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, another just humble, hardworking, incredible human who I couldn't be happier for. He deserved this so much. He's worked so hard, so diligently to get to where he is now. And I got an opportunity to meet Isiah initially when I was working for NJ.com, covering, you know, South Jersey high school sports. Got to connect with him a little bit there, watch his play style, and then to see him go to Rutgers and do what he did and grow more of a friendship connection with him over the past few years has been awesome. He deserves this. I couldn't be happier for him. He's going to do so many big things with Kansas City. If you're a Chiefs fan, for some reason watching or listening to this podcast, you got an absolute winner. So congratulations to my boy Isiah Pacheco. Kansas City, you're going to love Pop. He's going to do big things there. I think he's going to be a big piece to that offense. And, I mean, you see 2012, Bryce Brown did big things with the Eagles. He was a cult hero for a lot of people who, you know, wanted to root for him. And I think Isiah Pacheco is going to do so many big things with that Kansas City Chiefs offense and really bring a new element to that running back position out in KC. So shout out to Pop. You're the man, brother. And I'm rooting for you big time. Can't wait to see you shine in that Chiefs kingdom. A lot of South Jersey kids getting recognition this week too, whether it's drafted or signed as undrafted free agents. Marquise Bell, Bridgeton native, covered him when I was with NJ.com. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately for us Eagles fans, but very, very happy for Marquise. Brad Hawkins, somebody I know very well, signed as an undrafted free agent with the Atlanta Falcons. And then Bo Melton, another Rutgers guy from Mays Landing, went to Cedar Creek, gets drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. So shout out to South Jersey representing, man. It's so cool to just see people from cities around you going out and taking their talents to the next level, and whatever it may be, but also just it being NFL draft weekend and seeing so many names that you recognize get picked or get signed is such a cool thing to witness. So shout out to all the boys getting signed, getting drafted, and taking their talents to the next level in the NFL. I was trying to avoid this topic as much as possible because it brings pain to my soul knowing that this occurred. It happened after night 2 of the draft. I was coming home or on my way somewhere, and Joel Embiid. Mild concussion, fractured orbital bone in his face, out indefinitely, was the initial report by Shams Charania of The Athletic and Stadium. And it just was a nuke out of nowhere. I was not ready for it, was not expecting it, had no clue it was going to happen. And now, no Joel Embiid for Game 1 or Game 2 against the Miami Heat. Sixers obviously wrapped things up against the Raptors in dynamic fashion. And Joel Embiid took an elbow from Pascal Siakam, who I will see in hell. And that's what caused the fracture to the face. That's what caused the concussion. And it's one of those things that you just feel terrible for Joel because he does so much to get to where he is now. He works so hard. And he wants nothing more than to win and to win in Philadelphia. And then he gets dealt this shit hand at the most inopportune times. And I can't help but just feel so emotional about it. He's quickly become so many people's favorite athlete, potentially of all time in Philadelphia. He's certainly in my top 5 of all time. I love Joel Embiid. He's a guy that we've all like just journeyed with and watched him evolve into the human he is now. And to see him playing at his peak this whole season, and now things being stripped away from him because of a freak injury yet again, is maddening. But potentially if he clears concussion protocol and finds a way to be able to play with the fractured orbital bone in his face, which, if you rewind to 2018, that's exactly what happened to him on Markelle Fultz's shoulder. Fractured his face, and now this is the second time it's happened. But apparently Joel can play as soon as Game 3 if he's cleared. So that's good news. But when it comes to this Heat matchup, the Sixers, you gotta be able to steal a game in Miami. Like, you have to be able to go down to Miami and steal one of these games from the Heat. No questions out. You have to. And more than likely, it has to be Game 1 because Kyle Lowry is not playing in Game 1. He is out. So you're going to have to just do whatever it takes to win Game 1. Hopefully come back with a split or up 2-0 if we're feeling frisky. Come back up 2-0. But definitely have to steal Game 1 down in Miami to really make this a series worth bringing Joel back from such an injury and not forcing an issue to where he feels like he's got to rush himself back. That's the biggest concern, I think, among Sixers fans and amongst people is just like, you don't want Joel rushing himself back to further cause more injury, playing not up to par because he's injured, this, that, and the third. You want Joel to be at his best that he can be at, and if it's Game 3, great. If it's Game 4, great. But in order for you to really feel like you have a chance in this series, you got to steal Game 1 with Kyle Lowry being out. This Heat team, yes, they're the number 1 seed in the East. Yes, they've been very good this season, but I personally think they're beatable. I think they're a beatable team if you play your defense right, if they can make shots like we know they can, the Sixers team can win against this Heat team. My official prediction, I'm going to go on the record, Sixers in 6. I think it's very possible. I think it's doable for this team to steal a game in Miami and force force this Heat team to really, really be pressured. And I think the Sixers can steal this series in 6, potentially 7. But I think if Doc Rivers wants to save his job, if this team wants to continue progressing forward, you can't lose in the second round again. Matt and I have been talking about that for weeks. You can't lose in the second round for, was it now 4 or 5 straight years? You can't make that the norm. Like, you can't continue to lose games or lose series in the second round of the playoffs and be sent home in the playoffs. You got to stop the cycle, and it's got to start now against this Miami Heat team. Do the damn thing. Bring it home. Matt and I are going to be talking Sixers Heat on Wednesday night ad nauseum, with Game 1 beginning by the time you guys are watching this on Monday at 7:30. So we'll be talking about Game 1. We'll also be talking about Game 2 going into it, because we'll be live during Game 2 on May 4th, Star Wars Day. Got to steal Game 1. You got to win on Monday. You got to win Monday's game. That's my opinion on that. But the schedule right now is Monday at 7:30, Wednesday at 7:30, Friday at 7, Sunday at 8, and then Game 5 would be Tuesday, May 10th, to be determined time. Game 6 would be Thursday, May 12th, to be determined time. And then Game 7 would be Sunday, May 15th, with a to be determined time. Go steal Game 1, boys. 10-9-8, 76ers in 6. Let's do the damn thing and keep pushing towards that Larry O'Brien trophy, because that's exactly what this Sixers team deserves. I still think they can do the thing if they come out, make shots. Tobias Harris has to continue to play well, and Tyrese Maxey just has to step up once again and really shine like we've seen him do all season long. The other team that causes me stress, the Philadelphia Phillies. They lose the series to the Mets in just unbelievable fashion. They get no hit on Friday, lose 3-0. Then they come around, beat the Mets on Saturday 4-1. But then the bats, they stay alive, but then the pitching stinks. And Zach Eflin has been arguably the biggest disappointment so far when it comes to the Phillies pitching. I'm going to pull up his stats here so far to start the season. Zach Eflin this year has only gone 6 full innings once all year long. His first start, which was the Phillies' first loss of the year against Oakland, he only goes 4 innings, 3 strikeouts. April 15th at Miami, goes 4 innings, gives up 4 earned runs, 4 Ks. April 20th at Colorado, gets the no decision, but gives up 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, goes 5 2/3. Then he gets his first win at home against Colorado, gives up 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts. And then tonight, May 1st, against the Mets, at the Mets, 4 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. He's been absolutely disappointing. And we said preseason, when we were doing our preseason prediction show and everything, I said Zach Eflin would be the X factor for this team to be able to go out and win the division. If he was on point, because we figured Zach Wheeler would carry over and continue to play well, which he's starting to reach that point now after revamping up after the offseason injury, and we figured Aaron Nola would turn a corner, which whenever he pitches, he just doesn't get run support for some reason. I said Zach Eflin had to be the guy. You had to have 3 strong starting pitching options, and I figured Zach Eflin could be that guy. Has not been the case. Phillies lose 10-6 on Sunday Night Baseball. Back-to-back Sunday Night Baseball losses for the Phils. And now you find yourselves at 11-12 in 3rd place in the division behind the Mets and Marlins. The Mets at 16-7. You're 5 games back after a month of baseball. It's just, the Phils are 3-7 on the road. Not great. Not great away from Citizens Bank Park. But the positive here, you got 6 straight at home. 2 against the Texas Rangers starting on Tuesday. And then the Mets come to town for 4 games. Listen, you got to sweep the Rangers and at worst split with them. They don't have good pitching. They're very similar to the Phillies in a way where their pitching's not as great, but they got hitters. You got to be able to beat the Rangers. They've been off to a terrible start this year. Go out and take care of a bad team. At worst, split with the Rangers. And you got to win 3 out of 4 against the Mets. You have to win 3 out of 4 against the Mets. You got to go at worst 4-2 on this homestand before going out west to take on the Mariners, who are playing very good baseball to start this season. You play them for 3, and then you play 4 against the LA Dodgers in LA. Before you come home, 3 against the Padres, 3 against the Dodgers. Then you go on the road for 4 to take on the Braves for the very first time this season. And then you end the month of May against the Mets on the road at Citi Field again. And you have 2 games in the month of May against Gabe Kapler and the Giants at home before you finish that series out on the 1st of June. Very tough schedule in May for the Phils. Very tough schedule. That's why you had to beat teams like the Rockies. You had to beat teams like the Marlins. You had to come up and sweep the Athletics. And they didn't take care of business there. And that's a big problem for this Phillies team. They don't know how to take care of business against the bad teams for some reason. And now they find themselves 5 games back in the NL East. And we're going to play our favorite game because it's a new month. So you guys can go to playpickup.com right now and start playing the month of May NL East run differential game brought to you by our homies over at Pickup. Playpickup.com. Start playing the hottest headlines in sports right now. This is after tonight's games of May 1st, obviously. The New York Mets leading the way at plus 37. The Philadelphia Phillies are in second place in terms of run differential in the NL East, which is a welcome surprise, at plus 8. The Miami Marlins are at plus 6. The Atlanta Braves are at minus 14. And the stolen franchise Washington Nationals are at a whopping minus 33. But that's still not the worst in baseball, because you look at the NL Central, the Pittsburgh Pirates are minus 41. The Cincinnati Reds are minus 65. The Kansas City Royals are minus 34. Those are your worst in all of baseball. Philly's got to figure some things out. The inconsistencies pretty much since the run ended in 2011 have been unbelievable. It's the same old song and dance. I don't know how it gets fixed. How much of it is on Joe Girardi? How much of it is on the players? It's just, this team is way too talented. One, to get no hit by the New York fucking Mets blew my mind. The Mets, that is the second no-hitter in Mets history, and now the Phillies are in the history books for that. And they've been no-hit, I think, 20 times in franchise history, which is the most in baseball. Granted, we're an old franchise, been around since 1883. How you doing? Keep it moving. But this Phillies team has way too much talent offensively to be getting no hit by the New York Mets. And Tyler McGill, of all people, Jacob deGrom gets injured and Tyler McGill turns into him. Like, what are we doing? This is the second time Tyler McGill has made the Phillies look like fools this season. I'm tired of seeing him. I hope we don't have to see him ever again this season. The Phillies have a lot of question marks around them right now. Sitting in third place, they're playing like a 500 baseball team. I'll say that. That is exactly the way they're playing. They wasted a great Kyle Schwarber game. He hit 2 home runs on Sunday night. and Bryce Harper goes yard. And just the pitching, just absolutely dreadful whenever Zach Eflin pitches. I don't know what needs to be fixed. I don't know if, it's one of those things where you just continue to question the moves that the Phillies make in terms of addressing pitching, bullpen, or starting outside of Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. It's one of those weird questions where you don't know how it gets fixed. You got guys down on the farm, but they're still pretty young. Andrew Painter's been great. Mick Abel's been great, but they're not going to come save the franchise today. They're still a couple years away. Zach Eflin needs to figure some things out because he's starting to run out of time to really cement himself as a guy in this rotation for the long haul for the Phillies. And if he doesn't figure it out soon, the Phillies are going to have to go and figure out something to take his place in the rotation, because you can't keep trotting a guy out there who can't go at least 6 innings every 5th day. It's just an automatic loss. You might as well just have a bullpen game that day rather than putting that guy out there for 4 1/3, for 2 1/3, for 5 innings. Like, Zach Eflin's too good of a pitcher to not be going at least 6 innings every single start. He's got a lot to figure out. And I hope he figures it out, because this season's starting to pick up, and it's starting to get too little too late, pretty too quick. So the Phillies, after the first month of the season, 11-12, 3rd place in the division, 2nd place in the NL East run differential race. But the inconsistencies just continue, and it's been a decade-long thing for this Phillies team to just be so... If there's one thing they're consistent about, it's their inconsistencies. But they need to figure some things out quick before, it's just the same old song and dance, and we're not even worried about September baseball, October baseball, and we just waste another year of Zach Wheeler's prime, of Aaron Nola's prime, of Real Muto's prime, of Rhys Hoskins' prime, and most importantly, Bryce Harper's prime. You can't continue to waste these Bryce Harper years. He's too damn good. He's too damn talented. And we've wasted enough of his time already. You can't continue to waste it. You need to figure some things out. Look yourselves in the mirror and say, what do we need to do to get better? What do we need to do to fix this? And get on it ASAP, because it's not getting any easier in the month of May. Figure it out, Phils. Figure it out. Last bit of news here, just involving some content stuff. The homies over at Biñho, you guys can use promo code BIñhoUSP for 10% off your order at biñhoboard.com. The boards are here. Boards are here. The Biñho boards have arrived. The Underground Sports Philadelphia Biñho League is happening. The Office League is happening with everybody who's around here. Obviously, can't have Pat Pitts and McAvoy and Johnny Boy and DJ involved because they're not in state. But we're concocting ideas of how to really integrate everybody into the Biñho League. But my hope and my thought is, once we start this thing, because I'm going to be involved, Matt's going to be involved, Sarah's going to be involved, CFO Margie's going to be involved, hopefully Dom's going to be involved, hopefully Dylan's going to be involved, and everybody around here in our little area is going to be involved for the main Office League. We're going to film matches, we're going to have season play, league play, whatever we end up calling it. We're going to have match play, which is just kind of friendlies and doesn't really count towards our records. We're going to have summer league play, which is obviously when DJ and I go out on the road. This summer for PLL weekends, we're going to be playing against all the lax dads, the tailgate league, maybe we call it. We're going to have hopefully relegation, hopefully rules and stuff for our league. I'm very excited. Like, I've been concocting this idea pretty much since Biñho got on board with us. No pun intended. But I'm looking at the board right now. Played with CFO Margie earlier today. It is so much fun. I could play Biñho for hours. It's that much fun. But the Underground Sports Philadelphia Biñho League is going to be content we film. It's going to be all over the place. hopefully be on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. We'll figure it out. Potentially on the main Instagram and then have its own Twitter account. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But my hope is that matches will be filmed and uploaded for Wednesdays on the YouTube channel, because we don't upload podcasts really on Wednesdays. So that's an open day on our channel right now. So hopefully Biñho Wednesdays on our YouTube channel is the hope. That's my goal. And like it's such an open idea space where we can film, you know, if we have guests in studio, we play Biñho against them. You know, I have so many ideas running through my head when it comes to our Biñho content. I'm so excited. Like when I was playing today, after we built the first board, I was like, this is gonna be electric content. So my hope is potentially Wednesdays and maybe Saturdays if there's a lot, and then hopefully when we have big tournaments with everybody involved, we go hardcore and you know, stream it or something and cook this thing. I really want to put Biñho on the map. You know, I know John Boy is with them and they do a lot of awesome Biñho content as well, but I really want to be, you know, part of the catalyst that builds this thing up to be such an awesome game, because it is really, really dope. And, you know, you go on Instagram, you see Reese Hoskins and Scott Kingery are following them, so they know the deal. Reese Hoskins, if you want to play Biñho with us, let's set up a match. This is me calling Reese Hoskins out. I want to play Biñho against you. Scott Kingery, I want to play Biñho against you. And, like, imagine just being able to call out athletes or, you know, celebrities or whatever, and just, like, let's set up a Biñho match somewhere. But I'm calling out Reese Hoskins. I want to play Reese Hoskins in Biñho. That is a goal for me. And obviously to get Reese on this podcast. So, the Underground Sports Philadelphia Biñho League is happening. Can't wait. We're working on branding for the Office League, whatever we end up calling it. But USP Biñho, let's go. I'm hype. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. If you or somebody you know is looking for a summer internship, we're currently onboarding interns. We can't pay you because we don't even pay ourselves, but we do offer college credit. We will sign off for college credit. So if you're looking for an internship this summer, email us, undergroundsportsphi@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter in the DMs. All that good stuff. We'll figure some stuff out, because I would really love to have some summer interns on board with us, because we're going to need it with the content we have planned. Subscribe to the podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the like button. Click the bell icon so you don't miss a single video. And comment down below how you feel about A.J. Brown being a Philadelphia Eagle. How you feel about the Phantom of the Process potentially making a return to the floor in Game 3. And how you feel about this Phillies team's inconsistencies, and what you want to see from us in the Biñho League, because it's going to be YouTube exclusive. We're going to be putting that exclusively on YouTube, so let us know what you want to see from the Biñho Board League from Underground Sports Philadelphia in the comment section or in the Apple Podcast reviews. 5 stars only, because we have standards. We know you do too, and we know they're 5 stars. Big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Ducharme's Pro Foot, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, Mark Ronchetti CPA LLC, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland, and of course Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. Go to tomahawkshades.com and use promo code USP for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com. Pick up, the best place to play the props. Go to playpickup.com now and start playing the hottest headlines in sports with our homies over at Pickup. Kenwood Beer, go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. And, of course, Biñho Board. Go to biñhoboard.com. That's BINHOBOARD.com. and use code Biñho USP, Binho USP, for 10% off your order from the homies over at Biñho. Stay tuned for the Biñho League coming to our YouTube channel in the very near future. Stay tuned for Just a Kid from Vineland, the Jamil Demby vlog, coming to our YouTube very soon as well. And big thank you guys for all the support and continuing to watch on YouTube, listen on Apple and Spotify. Means a lot to us, and we're just trying to bring you the best content we possibly can. And I really appreciate the support on the Solo Dolo shows of Underground Sports Philadelphia, just like this one, episode number 425. I'm your boy KB, and until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.